Good afternoon, Year 4, and welcome to your science lesson for Tuesday, the 26th of January. Hopefully you've been enjoying our sound topic and you enjoyed the activities last week. Today we are going to be recognising that sounds get fainter as the distance from the sound source increases. So this is lesson 4. Okay, let's get started. So like I said, we're recognising that sounds get fainter as the distance from the sound source increases. What does fainter mean? Have you heard of that vocabulary before? And what do you think happens to sound as distance increases? And why do you think this? So you can pause the video now and have a think about those questions. Doesn't matter if you're not sure at the moment, because that's what this lesson is about. And then we'll come back in a second for the learning bit. Okay, hopefully you had a chance to either think about that or discuss that. Down here, then we have our learning pit. Where do you think you are on the learning pit today? Do you think this lesson is going to be challenging? Have you heard of that vocabulary before? What do you think will happen? Doesn't matter if you don't know, but what's going to help us succeed? Okay, so what is it and what is it not to start us with today? What do you think the order is for these 5 images? Can we drag them into the correct order? So there's 5 pictures below of some images at the top and then some writing below. So the one on the far left here says the vibrations are changed into electrical signals and sent to your brain. Your brain tells you that you're hearing a sound. The next one, vibrations pass from the sound source to particles in the air around it. The next one, the vibrations reach your ear and pass into your ear. The next one, the sound source begins to vibrate. And the final one is the vibrations pass from particle to particle. What do you think is the correct order? Again, use this time to have a little bit of a think. And we will actually drag them in just a moment because we're going to re-watch this video from a couple of weeks ago to remind us how sound travels to our ears, and then we'll be able to put those in the correct order. So fingers crossed you can see this screen now. Hopefully it won't take too long to load.
Why can't you hear this alien scream in space? And have you ever wondered when you make a sound like ooh, how does the sound actually get into your ears? Watch what happens when the spaceship crashes on Earth. That's more like it. So why is it that we can hear the alien scream now? Well, sounds are made from vibrations. We can't see vibrations, but if we did, they would look a little like this. Sounds are made when objects vibrate. Sound waves make the air around vibrate, and the vibrations enter your ear. You hear them as sounds. In space, there is nothing for the sound waves to travel on. That's why we couldn't hear the alien scream.
Okay, so hopefully that was a little bit of a reminder. So let's have a look back at our pictures then. What happens first? And hopefully that you already discussed on the previous page that the sound source begins to vibrate. That would be the first thing that happens. Something is struck, hit, like we spoke about a few weeks ago, and the sound is made from the vibrations. Then what did you think was next? Okay, so hopefully you had vibrations pass from the sound source to particles in the air around it. That was the second thing that happens. Then hopefully you get there passing from particle to particle. Oh, Miss Fowler made a mistake because that's actually going to have to go in here, and I'm going to have to get rid of this one because they actually have to reach your ear first. So even though those two could be either way, the actual picture there shows me that that's within your ear. So it has to reach your ear first. So that one was the third one. Then they pass from particle to particle, and that could have been within the air. So it could have been number 3. But because the image there, the picture shows me it's within the ear, it has to be number 4. And then the 5th one here, the vibrations are changed into electrical signals and sent to your brain. And your brain is what's telling you the sound. So hopefully you got those right on the previous page. Okay, let's have a look now at what happens inside the ear. We're going to get a little bit closer in this video. Again, hopefully you can see this here. No, hopefully a lot of the vocabulary within the ear. It was definitely new to me before I researched for this lesson. Which ones can you remember? Just have a think about it or talk to your partner if you're at school about some of those words. Okay, traveling sounds then. So sounds get quieter. I'm going to try that again. Sounds get quieter as the distance between the sound source and your ear increases. So we know that the sounds travel as vibrations. And as the sound waves travel, the particles of whatever they are traveling through vibrate, or more quickly on the spot. The further the vibrations travel, the more they spread out. And as they spread out through more and more particles, the vibrations become smaller and smaller. And this causes the sound to get quieter. So another way of explaining that is if you are right next to something like a telephone that's going to make lots of sound, if you're right next to it, it will make the noise not have a very far distance to get to your ear. Whereas if it's further away, the vibrations that the phone would make is further and further away, and the particles that the vibration is traveling through are further apart, and it's a lot fainter, so it's a lot harder to hear or a lot quieter. Okay, it says, think of dropping a leaf into a pond. The very first ripples directly around the leaf will be very large, but as the ripples spread out across the pond, they get smaller and smaller until they eventually disappear. And this is why sounds get quieter and quieter as you move further away from the source, until you eventually can't hear the sound at all. So this is another way of explaining the same thing I tried to do with the phone a moment ago. It says sounds also get quieter over distance because some of the vibrations are absorbed by obstacles they meet. So if the ripples in the pond below hit an obstacle, such as sticks or a rock, they will not travel as far. This can help you understand why sounds get quieter as they move further away. Okay, Emmett then today, he says, I know how sound travels. It vibrates in the ear and gets to my outer ear, then inner ear, and then my brain. I don't need to know the names of the parts. Do you agree or disagree with Emmett? Do you think it's good enough to say inner ear, outer ear, brain and be done with it? Or do you think that you should know the names of the vocabulary of the parts of the ear? And why? Okay, hopefully you realise that it is a good idea to know the vocabulary. And your task today is going to be to label the parts of the ear on the diagram. So on your sheet that I've included in your daily task today, you will have a picture of this ear that's just below here. And I've also included the words at the top for you to help you. So the auditory canal, or the canal that you would have heard, the auditory nerve, eardrum, cochlea and outer ear. So I haven't done every single one that we learned in the video, but there are some there for you to get started. And if you need to rewind this video and rewatch it, that's absolutely fine. Your Go Deep activity will then be to look at the left statements over here and to unjumble them. It says they're jumbled up, please sort them and write them in the correct order. So these statements are about how we hear, and you need to write them down. So number one at the moment on the side isn't the actual number one, but it says the vibrations pass along the auditory nerve to your brain. Now we know that isn't the first one. The second one, the eardrum vibrates when a sound hits it. 3, your brain sorts the message and you hear the sound. Number 4, your outer ear channels the sound waves into your ear. Number 5, the vibrating eardrum makes the little bones in your ear vibrate. And number 6, the sound waves travel along the auditory canal. So you can see on my piece of paper just here that I've started the first one for you. So number 1 should be the outer ear channels the sound waves to your ear. So that should be number 1, which was actually number 4 over here. So now I've answered that one, I can cross out number 4 because I've done that one and then find out which one the next one is. Your Go Deeper task today should actually be quite fun. And it says to please use some modelling clay or blue tack, try and make a model of the outer ear and inner ear, and to try and make it as lifelike as possible, and then to try and take a photo of it to send in if you want to. So I have cheated a little bit. I've gone onto Google and found this diagram below. This one's been obviously made out of different coloured modelling clay. Doesn't matter if you don't have that at home, but just to try and make a model of all of those different parts and how they connect. I wish you lots of luck with those activities today. Hopefully the Go Deeper will be really fun as well, but it's just trying to make it lifelike as well as having fun doing it. I'm going to ask you to pause the video here and then just to come back at the end for our working scientifically and our learning pit. Good luck. Okay, hopefully you've had a really good go at that. Can't wait to see some of your photos if you choose to send that piece of work this afternoon. Can you just think about what working scientifically skills that we have focused on today? I'll let you pause the video in your own time to read those and to have a look at them, but maybe think about which ones we have looked at and why. And then finally, where are you on the learning pit now at the end of the lesson? The question there, was your model realistic? How did it help you to understand what is happening in your ear? And where do you think you are on the learning pit? So are you still finding some of that vocabulary quite difficult? Are you down here? Or are you finding that that wasn't actually too bad? You're coming out of the learning pit. A huge well done again today, and I will see you next week for some more science. Bye for now.